one in cheerleading camp in ECC. And as consent agenda. Any seconds?
Second on that?
Second.
Discussion. Just that from personal experience, when the active shooter drill occurs, please make an announcement first, because I was in my office on the second floor on the corner when they started the drill, and I thought it was a real thing. I went under my desk, I was the only one in the building. So it's a very scary situation, so please, if we can announce at 4 o'clock, please, this is a drill, because there may be some staff members that may be there cleaning up or getting ready for the year or whatever.
I think it's 4 to 8 at night.
Yes.
Is that just
Yeah,
the
close
one?
to 8 p.m.
Yes,
I heard there
usually
is
is.
no actual the shooting sounds like.
Well,
that.
they're blanks, but it's actually, and when you're not aware of it, like I wasn't, I was there at 7 o'clock at night, and I really didn't know what was happening. So if we could just make that announcement, that'd be great. Anything else? If not, roll call, please.
Dr. Matarazzo.
Yes.
Ruben.
Yes.
Sue Shaw.
Yes.
Jason Kidd. Kevin Lim. Longo.
Yes.
John Madison.
Yes.
Charles Schumer.
Yes.
Thank you. Next one would be personnel, Ms. Min.
Yes, sir. Before us, we have a 17 resolution. I'd like to make a motion as the consent agenda.
18 motions.
18?
Yes.
Okay, 18 motions.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Discussion.
Before the board votes, Dr. Matarazzo, I just want to shed some light on the process on resolution number 16. As has been done in the past under my tenure as superintendent, committees have always been formed. Committees for interviewing of high-ranking administrative positions. It was the advisory decision of the School Ethics Commission that school board members no longer serve on that role. And at that point, we still, full transparency with a rubric system, conducted our interviews, conducted multiple rounds of interviews with external and internal candidates. The second round consisted of our building administrators. And I am very confident, as I always am in making these recommendations, that on June 16th, 2022, Mr. Andrew Garcia is the right choice for Palisades Park Junior Senior High School to lead us forward.
Thank you.
I'd just like to add, because it's been questioned that despite our sharing a last name, I think I met you once last year, but there's absolutely no connection or relation of any kind. So he has gotten here on his own merit.
And he should be honored if he was related. I'd like to add that I know I'm checking off all the resignations of certain staff members, and again, like I said before, we're going to miss the retirees as well as the people resigning tremendously, and I thank all of them for their work in making our school system what it is today. Any other discussion?
Dr. Sitter, so when you say that no longer, so that means that act has been changed?
So, yeah, I believe it was a school ethics commission that was an advisory opinion released for the public, the general public, on January 26th of 2016. And I believe this was shared by Ms. Montemura with all the board members, that the school ethics commission does not support board members conducting interviews for positions below that of superintendent. And in closing, again, it says that thus, in the commission's view, the role of interviewing is an administrative function, not within the authority of the board or its members. So I know there was a lot of uncertainty, and partly maybe due to my, when I started in 2013, for purposes of full transparency, I formed committees. I created rubrics, and truthfully, I felt that there was nothing to hide, nor do I do that today. But I do not and will not go against an ethics advisory opinion. And obviously we're going to comply as we always have, and hope to continue to do that the right way.
But in this, can we see, can we know how many candidates were?
Sure, of course. So there was in excess of 25 candidates. I personally interviewed 9 of those candidates, especially the external candidates that I did not know from Palisades Park. I knew none of them. Some of them with experience, some of them without experience. For the record, I believe I have a pretty good gauge of the temperature in our schools. And I think it's time, I'm the same person who has come before this board and other boards to recommend external candidates for a new voice, a new leader. That's not what Palisades Park Junior Senior High School needs right now. We've started a lot of great programs. We need consistency. We need, I don't think anyone's here for me tonight, so I think we're here and we see there's a lot of support, there's a lot of excitement, and to me that really it is a compliment to the young man that I'm recommending.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Please let it be known that, although we did not write Mr. Garcia, he is here as a candidate, not as an employee. So through legal counsel, I was correct that we do not have to rice him on this.
Dr. Sejuro, so could you elaborate a little bit more on the process? You said that there are like 25 candidates, right?
Yes, sir.
And you interview like 9, right?
That's correct.
So what is the total like external candidate and
External?
Yeah.
9.
External,
Excuse me,
right?
7. 2 internal.
Okay.
For the record, before I select any leader of our district, especially that of what I consider a very high-ranking position, I set out and look for key areas that we need, and not we as a board, we as a community, we as students. It's not what's best for me, it's never been what's best for me.
That's right.
So I believe we have to check off certain boxes to advance, to proceed. And when those requirements are met satisfactory, I firmly believe that second round interviews should happen.
So second round interview like a total of 9?
Only 2 people advance to the second round.
Because you said that you interview like 9 people.
That is correct.
And what base you made a decision to interview? Like, can you explain?
Of course, their application process, their resumes, their experience, the fact that they can meet certain requirements that we are looking for as a community in our schools. A principal of 20 years in a community not very reminiscent of Palisades Park, in my opinion, would not be a good fit for our schools.
So how many categories? Like, there should be
So I had 8 categories that I looked for.
Okay.
That's correct.
So that you are the only, you said that.
No, there was a committee formed, and the committee was multiple principals. So it was the principal of the elementary schools, as well as the vice principal of the junior senior high school. We all asked questions, same questions to multiple candidates. We all had rubrics. We created in unison, and at the end of the day, there's one candidate that stood out.
The evaluation is how do you evaluate, right? Because I'm kind of familiar with we also have like a lot of interviews, right? And there's kind of points, right?
Sure.
We have normally 4 or 5 people interviewing together, right? And they just make some kind of grade, right?
Sure.
10 or 12 like each categories, right?
Yep.
So how do you make some kind of points? So
Sure, the rubric consists of a point value. In each of the areas, you can gain points. I can share with you a blank rubric. I'd be more than happy to. It never was established prior to me joining this district, and I'm happy to have created it.
yeah, that's right. I think had I gotten that kind of information, it would have been a lot easier. What kind of procedure is to plan to take, right?
Sure.
So total 9, right?
Yep.
So eventually you should have kind of short list like 2 or 3 short
2.
lists. Two short lists.
That is correct.
So is there any way that you can read on? I just wanted to see whether any way that you can just look into any kind of detail. How you finally decide to have like a.
Sure, it's a recommendation that as superintendent of schools I have a right to make. I have no problem sharing with you any and all information. I am a fully transparent individual. I have no bones to hide. I wish someone asked me that prior to this evening.
I know, it looks like your decision, but is there any way you could make like a 3 candidate and out of 3 just make one? No, I something.
I don't know that that's necessary. Again, my role is to lead the district and make recommendations that are appropriate.
Okay.
Again,
Yeah, very much. Yeah, I think I you know you have right to recommend whatever you like to show. I think based on all the information, right? But I'm very much interested in seeing the detail of a little bit two candidates, how you come up.
I'll be more than happy to share with you the rubric.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
We need to know.
Dr. Sierra, so,
Yes.
last month, I remember, maybe I'm wrong, if correct me if I'm wrong. Because I remember that I was told that at least there will be, well, 3 candidates, or 2-3 candidates in your recommendation will be presented, well, be shared.
Yeah, I've never
before
said
make
that.
a
I
difference.
never made, I
Okay.
never bring 2 candidates for a recommendation for the board. I have to
Okay.
bring 1,
Okay.
and I brought 1.
That I heard in June 1st when I talked with you, but before I was expecting that will be shared with the information of at least 2-3 candidates.
So again, the, not my decision, but that of the New Jersey School Boards, and I'm sure an Ethics Commission, is that the board members should be privy to any and all information pertaining to the vote in front of them.
Okay.
There's a vote in front of you. I shared the resume of the candidate with each and every one of you.
Right, and then based on the conversation June 1st, I was expecting to have this resume of
The what?
resume, right, or other information of the candidate that you recommended. It would last 2 weeks, which means exactly a week in June that I was expecting, but I just received it today at 3 hours
Yeah,
before
I'm not sure. So the resume is what you were expecting prior to this afternoon?
Yeah, I just received today, like 3
Yeah.
hours prior to
So I
this
apologize. My
meeting.
cousin passed
And
away and I
in
was out of the office for 2
vacations, I
days.
had no time to really look over much.
Okay?
Like the high school principal is the one of the most important person in the Palisade Park, the school system.
That's correct.
The first is superintendent, and second is like the high school principal. So we have to approve your appointment today, but we don't know anything about the candidate you approved because we received his resume like 3 hours ago. So how could we know he would do well or not?
So Mr. Shin,
This is not fair.
Mr. Shin, what I know is
So-
for 19 years I've worked in Palisades Park. For
Yes.
9 years I've been superintendent. I will not recommend someone if they were not the right fit for our schools.
I know you would do that very well, but still, our job is, okay, we have to approve, okay, the person, second important person in the Palisade Park school system, yeah. So we have to know about that, but we don't know about him, so I don't,
Would you like to
I
ask the
believe
candidate
he's
some
doing well,
questions?
but still is a guess, right? So other than that, we don't know how he would do well his role or not.
I
So
don't
why
know.
don't you give us enough time to evaluate
So would you like to go to
him
closed
or
session for a little
evaluate
while?
your appointment?
Would you like to go to closed session for a little while? Is that gonna help you? Again, I was at a funeral for 2 days. I apologize. I wish my cousin was still alive at this point.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
if I
Mr.
may
Longo.
respecting, looking at what difference would it have made? Last year, we hired a vice principal and we went through the exact same procedure without any of this. So I'm curious what the
Actually,
basis
last
for
time
that.
I was
And
not here.
wait, 1 second, he just explained there's a committee, there's a rubric that goes in place, and we've always followed the recommendation of the superintendent. So if we trust him to do his job, we should do ours, which is to vote.
Yes, Mr. Longo.
I just wanted to say, because I do know Andrew Garcia, because he was in my department, in the English and History, in the History department. I was the English and History supervisor. And he was always very impressive from day one. He was very creative with his teaching, and he had a great rapport with his students. Dealing with him, I never had a problem. If you asked him to do something, he would do it. So I I feel badly that this is happening at this time. I really think he's an excellent choice, and I'm only going by my experience. I understand why some of you feel this way, maybe because you felt you don't know him, but I do know him, so I was trying to reassure you that he is a good person, and I think he'll do a great job. I think he'll get along with the faculty, and they will respond to him because they respect him, and they will, you know, all cooperate. And I know he has a vision of improving things, and I'm sure he will do his best to accomplish that. We have to support him, I mean, financially, as far as giving, if there are not enough classrooms in the building, we need to do something about that. If we don't have the materials, he can't do anything unless we provide him with the materials needed. So I just want people to realize he is I really feel positive about him being principal, you know, in the future. So that's basically it.
I'd like to just add that, we as the board, we have the right to vote yes or no. But I think we all have established that we have enough confidence in Dr. Cirillo to go through this process. And he mentioned to me when he was going to start posting day by day, I could tell you every day, how many he was going to interview, how many applications he got. He really did a thorough search, and I did hear a lot about it. I did not know the final one until he made his decision, which shortly afterwards he let us know through the personnel agenda. And to echo what Mr. Longo said, I too do know this gentleman, and he is excellent. He really is, and I would not put my reputation on the line if I didn't think so. So we know that process was done correctly. I did see the rubrics because we were privileged to see it last year on other candidates, and it is very, very thorough. It is, and everyone has a scoring sheet to fill out. And from what I am told, he came out on top. So
you know what? I don't have a problem with him,
Yeah.
but I'm not positive.
Sure.
I'm not positive or negative about him.
Right.
But still, I don't know whether I should be
Sure.
positive or
Well,
negative.
again, I think if you have any questions about him or the resume, I think Dr. Cirillo could answer him, rather than putting him on the spot. I don't like doing that. But I was told that it's a candidate. So, I don't know, do we have to discuss candidates in closed personnel? No.
No, I mean,
Only
the
personnel.
board members, they don't really have authority to interview the
Mhm.
candidates, you know, with the questions directly. However, also, they're not rubber stamps of the, you know, the candidate that superintendent
Correct.
chose. So I don't know how this conflict developed, but obviously, as Mr. Shin pointed out, he's not personally against the candidate.
Right.
Just that the process, it seems like you know, unclear to the board
Well,
members.
again, I have confidence to know, as Dr. Cirillo told me, who the people were that were on the committee. They were all administrators, and I know the board has the prerogative to vote yes or no, and that's your right to do that.
And Ms. Kim, I think you raise a very good point, and what I can do, on behalf of the school board, I can ask Mr. Matthew Lee from New Jersey School Boards. He was here in, I believe, November or December. I will ask that he come back again to speak about the do's and the don'ts, and the roles and the responsibilities. And the responsibility tonight is that I make a recommendation, and I've done so.
Okay,
We have a motion and a second.
there's a motion on the floor, and there's a second.
I just want to suggest, I don't know whether it's, working or not, just, if there's a chance, then I just want to be given, some kind of, time to study this candidate. So I just wondering whether we could postpone, putting.
I don't know, can you elaborate on what study means? I'm not sure what.
No,
that- What does
I-
study mean?
I'm just reading this resume, right? Because, right, I don't have any bias, right? So I just want to make a correct decision, because if I were to, I think, I don't want to make some people, kind of surprised, whatever, because I know what I'm gonna say, right? But, if I were, I just I'm given like a more proper time, then I think I can make a more, more educated, more, good decision. Well, now I think, if I think myself, I think, I know what kind of, answer I'm gonna make.
Would you like a recess so that we can spend the next 20 minutes?
No, I don't think so.
Scrutinizing? Is that what you're asking?
Because, may I say something? I'm looking at these resolutions, everyone is superintendent reviews and recommends everyone. Should we question every resolution that we have in front of us? For 40 years I've had resolutions, I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. This is. Motions on the finance. Should we question every one of them? Should we want to see, excuse me, let me finish. Well, that's what the superintendent's job is for. He recommends we accept.
As a board member, I think I have a right to say whatever
You do, I'm not saying you don't, but you're carrying it too far, Mr. I'm sorry to say that. You're carrying it too far for no reason at all.
Okay, again, the motion is on the floor, and what we can do is if you want to vote no, please do. But I believe the motion was on the floor, it was seconded,
I don't know who seconded it.
I second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
and I would like to call any more discussion.
So regional management fund.
Can I go on?
Sir?
Oh my God.
Hey,
Ask any teacher.
Guys,
Leave it alone.
guys,
You have the right to talk.
No.
Leave it alone.
No.
Leave it
No.
alone.
No.
To talk.
I can't.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Who I am?
Okay.
I'm a mother. I live in town.
guys,
Yes, and I
please
come
stop.
to them every
No
meeting.
discussion, please.
We're not in
She
order.
asked me who I am, and I have responded.
Now everybody coming to the meeting. But no, why not coming before?
Okay.
Come out.
I know that's.
It's not audience
No,
participation.
no. For that's good. Today is the big decision
Okay.
for the.
That's a big
Okay,
decision.
motion
They
Alright.
need
is
to
on,
know.
motion is on the
This is
floor.
not a
It was
joke.
Carry
seconded.
the motion, Mr. President.
And I
Like
believe-
before the decision
I
that
vote
you
on-
made and all the
Yes,
principles
but
that
I
didn't
believe,
work
Mr.
good.
Shin, you had a question.
My question
Mama.
is, okay, the reason I'm asking this is, what happens if we say, if we don't approve him, is he disqualified forever, or is there a second
I
chance? for him?
believe then the
That's what I'm
next
asking.
meeting, Dr. Cirillo has to come up with another recommendation, correct? If we
You
vote
mean
no,
recommendation for the other person, or?
yes, if
For
we
you.
vote no on this person, then
I
the
can
next,
vote, I can recommend the same candidate. If I
Next
believe this
meeting.
is the best candidate, I can make that recommendation again.
but right now we have a motion on the floor. Any other discussion on that motion? If not, Diane, roll call.
Dr. Matarazzo.
It's with great honor that I vote yes on all of them, except I have to recuse myself on number 7, the middle name, Samantha Matarazzo. The rest, yes.
Noonan. My question is that I would like to vote, because I understand that they are new board members, right? And I understand the situation because I'm a teacher too. But we have to know about him, that knowledge. So, I would like us to do vote, to decide that.
Well, this motion we have to vote on first,
Okay,
whether
yes,
it's yes or no.
yes.
Yes, okay?
Sue Chung.
Are we vote for like, put it in the floor vote? What do you?
No, it's vote yes or no on all of those, motions, the 18 of them that were,
No.
no, okay?
On all of them?
On all of them or?
No, not all of them, but, except that, the
Numbers-
principal, number 16.
Okay, next,
Newman, you were,
She voted.
yes on all 18? Yes?
yes.
Annie Escobar, Jason Kim. Kevin Lim.
Yes, for all except 16.
Peter Longo.
Yes.
John Madison.
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
Yes, except for the 16th.
Congratulations, Mr.
That's not fair. That's not
Next
fair.
item, curriculum, Mr. Longo,
I have no report tonight.
just my question on that before we move over curriculum, you know, I keep
Es
asking
el que
about
le conviene a los
the curriculum for
maestros.
the Asian studies.
Well, I know this, I saw this on Facebook, so this is all I know.
Okay.
Because of my situation today, I didn't have a chance to show.
Sure.
But, they had something at the, elementary school, it was an outdoor event.
Oh,
Mr. Duffy,
Same
you know
Yep,
about
so
that?
there was a Asian American assembly program, Pacific Islander AAPI, this past week, very well attended. We brought in some vendors from the outside to talk about the traditions, the cultures, and really the rich history of primarily Korean Americans and their significance in our educational system. Additionally, I can tell you all that at our June 30th meeting and throughout the summer, there will be many curriculum revisions that are required by the state and important decisions with regard to health PE standards that are coming our way.
great. And also, can we put in our curriculum, something celebrating Juneteenth, as
Sure.
well? This way, we
I believe that's,
can
I
honor.
yeah, I
just
believe
not
that's
only on
done
that day.
regardless during Black History Month, but
Right.
the significance of it, I believe that's celebrated tomorrow, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, the 17th, right, this year?
Yeah.
And I commend the board for acknowledging it for next year as a day off.
Great, good, thank you, Mr. Longo. Next one would be negotiations.
No report.
My question, anything new with the other negotiations with the central
We're
office?
still waiting to receive an updated proposal
Okay,
on their end.
great, thank you. Next would be policy. Ms. Garcia.
There's some updates, but, we had just gotten them, so we just started to over to the next meeting.
Fine, we can do that on the
30th.
June 30th meeting, is that good?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Next one, PTA, PTSA.
It's just update that as you remember the last BOE meeting that I expressed my hope that we would be able to do the membership drive in the June before the school year ends, but unfortunately we have to move it to September because we are having difficulty with the financial records from current PTA members that has to be transferred to the new PTA executive board. And because the financial record of PTA is the property of PTA and it has to be passed on to the new executive members and officers. So we are waiting for them to get it, and when the all documents are ready in their hands, that we can start our new membership in September, hopefully right after the schools are reopened, so we can do a good or useful events for our children and then do the membership drive prior
Right.
to. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Do you know who the new president is for the PTA, PTSA?
Not yet, we are having meeting tomorrow, this Saturday.
Okay, great, so
we'll
then at the
decide,
end of the
right.
month, we can maybe work it out.
Yes, we have all executive members,
Great.
just the role needs to be more verified.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for your hard work on that. It's a little tedious, but I know it'll be worth it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, student activities, Ms. Min.
There is no report at this time.
Okay, but I do wanna say that, you know, all the events going on have been phenomenal. I don't know where people found the time, energy, late hours, and I congratulate our teachers, our staff, our administration for doing such a great job with that. Next one would be calendar, Mr. Kim.
Nothing to report this time.
Okay, and as Dr. Cirillo said, next year we are going to be celebrating, and we have off on Juneteenth. It's about time, and I'm so glad that we were proactive on that. Next would be food services,
Nothing to report.
Mr. Kim. Oh no, did we do food services?
Yeah,
They have come together.
Okay, it's the same thing, okay, nothing with food services either?
I'm sorry, I should have given this to you before. The week of June 20th, summer school feeding program. We're mandated to have it. It's free lunch for anyone under the age of 18. They don't have to be a student here. They don't even have to live in Palisade Park.
Oh, wow.
They could come to Lindbergh School at 11 o'clock and they can be served a free lunch.
When
It's
is
for
this?
5 days only, the 20th to the 24th.
Next week.
Good.
That's next week. If anyone's interested, or you can pass the word, There will be free lunch there for anyone that wants to come under the age of 18.
Can we put that
We're not
out?
gonna check ID, so if you're a little bit over 18, you could still come, like Audrey or Morgan.
That's-
But, it is a free lunch. What do you